Tubies! It's Psychic Bob. Here we are. It's Sunday night. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time. And you know what that means? It's time for the witching hour. Ooh, I tell you, we're so glad to be here with you guys. Well, we got partial crew tonight. Lady Angela had to work late, but that's all right. She said, y'all carry on without me, and we're going to do that. And look who else we got here. We got Lord Tony. Lord Tony, you want to jump in and say hey?
Hey.
That's direct.
No, I'm glad to be here. Hope everyone, we should have a fun show.
Yay. And then we got, of course, our keeper of the sacred staff, Lady Carol, here as well. Lady Carol,
hi,
everybody. Yay.
Hi, everybody. I hope y'all are doing great tonight.
You look nice, Carol. You look tropical in that beautiful dress you're wearing.
Thank you. It's my fall outfit.
Oh, I love
ready for it.
It's got a kind of Hawaiian style to it or something. It's very unique.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, I tell you, you know, here where I live, we've been having extremes. It's been extreme hot and extreme cold. One day we're 80, the next day we're 30. It's playing havoc with me. But you know what? We're just going to roll with it because we're moving into autumn time. By the way, I want to say thank you to all of y'all who came out last week for our Halloween/Samhain ritual. We had a great time. If you didn't see that, check that out. It's in the queue for last week. And I want to give a big shout out to everybody who came out. And Lord Tony, why don't you, show people, some people weren't here last week. Why don't you show them your amazing shield you made? I want you to tell them about that.
Let's see. Gotta get it up. This is the shield I made for last week's ritual. This is pretty much consists of perforated metal, some chrome door trim. I painted up my soapstone pentacle and put a little handle on the back, put a nice little curve to it, so it did its job. Since it was a gift to the spirits, I'm keeping it up here so that it can be shown for every show. But had to make a little thing to hang it up there with. But that's pretty much it. I will start working on Saturday night, finish it up Sunday afternoon.
I think that looks spectacular. Well, I'm just so glad that for Lord Tony's contribution. I think that was just amazing. Speaking of contributions, Lord Tony, we got a number of people are all excited here tonight. We got Salem Show here. Billy Mayer's here. Stargazer's here. Gavin Hines is here from London. Mama Bird's here. Kathy Private said, everybody loves your shield, Lord Tony. They're like, oh, that is so cool. That looks so nice. Stargazer said, that looks so cool. Amy Bell's here. Oh, my gosh. T-Rose Lover's here. Mayla's here. G-Dog's here. Melanie Miller's here. Hey, guys. It's so good to have you. There's Jennifer Croxton's here. Jennifer Croxton says, hi, Lady Carol. And hi to everyone else. Hi, all right. Yay. Laura M's here. Mina Laurie, Matt B, Tracy. Gosh, we got a big crew tonight. Well, guys, welcome to the show. We're just glad y'all are here. And, we're at an interesting time because we're in what I call the in-between time. Technically, it's still Samhain time, but as the big holiday has passed, things are starting to wind down because I don't know if y'all noticed this, but as we move into the beginnings of the winter season, there's kind of a quiet that comes. And I'm feeling that shift of energy now. I was out walking the other day and I can feel nature slowly retreating from us, starting to pull into the earth as the trees start to release the leaves. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've noticed the change in the weather. I mean, right now it's, been kind of warm in the daytime hours and freezing at night. So, it's like we're getting ready for the big shift and settling in for the winter. And I've noticed with the animals too, there a lot more birds that are foraging for food and, everybody's getting ready to hunker down. So I kind of understand.
Yeah, I agree. What's interesting? We're talking about trees dying, and somebody just wrote, they said, Salem Show said, Bob, where do witches go when they die? That's a really good question, especially right now, because, as that energy shift's happening, we are you know, also at the time in traditional culture of the month of the dead, November is considered a month where the spirit veil is still thin. And, you know, where witches go, well, it's up to them, really. Some witches go to a place called the Summerland. That's a traditional British teaching. And the Summerland is really a paradisical realm where you get to be refreshed and restored after your earthly life. You kind of work out all the problems that you have on your spirit and you come back to balance. And then once you do that, you get to decide if you want to reincarnate. See, in the craft, we believe that the soul can come into the earth many times to learn lessons, to grow. And this is one of the reasons why in the craft we really don't practice judgment against people, because we really never know, you know, what somebody's soul mission is, their journey. It takes time to understand that. And, you know, we've all been younger souls. You know, sometimes we look at people, you know what I'm saying, guys, where it's like, you see something, God, that person's life is such a wreck. They're just down a track of disaster. But sometimes as witches, we have to step back and say, maybe they're choosing that incarnational experience. And so rather than judging them, we must guide them to a positive path, you know? So where do we go when we die? You know, I do believe in the British traditional teaching of the Summerland, because, you know, it's considered to be a place of rest and renewal. Now, if you're a Norse pagan or Nordic pagan or Wiccan, you know, some of them believe in Valhalla. You go to the different realms of Valhalla. If you're a high, you know, if you're a soldier and you die in battle, you go to the highest realms of Valhalla, which is the spirit paradise. And there are different realms, the land of the Asir, the land of the gods. Each pagan tradition, I think, has its own definition. But I would say traditionally, we all kind of believe in there is an afterlife and that we go to it. What do you guys say? You want to add anything to that?
Oh yeah. I believe in the Summerlands myself. Now, you know, I've been told by many people that, you know, I'm an old soul and I feel it, you know, because I go through deja vu every time you turn around. It's like, I've done that before, or I've dreamt that before, or had that thought, you know. So, you know, on my point of view, from my own experiences, I can say that, you know, I've done it, and little bits in there, you know, I can kind of remember things or see something that will spark a memory from out of nowhere. So I do believe in the Summerland, where we're given choices to, you know, decide what we're going to do, if we're going to come back or if we're going to stay and teach. I mean, that's one reason we're here. We're here to learn and teach others. So I think next go around, I'm just going to hang around and teach.
I like that. Lord Terry, what's your thoughts on the afterlife?
I'm a firm believer in it. Between the spirits that I've adopted, you know, there's got to be an afterlife just with having spirits around. But I've seen where I'm going already, and I've been shown that, and I firmly believe that it's there. They showed me where my home is going to be. I'm not sure who actually came down. It was like a really big guy. He came down and literally put his arms on top of my shoulders and started speaking to me in a language I never understood. But it was definitely from a higher power. And another guy came up to me and says, we're going to be having a big celebration, and if you want to attend, I'll send this person and this person. I can only remember one name of the person that was one of the people that was actually going to come and get me at my time. But it sticks with me. The other name just kind of, I was starting to come out of it as the name was being given to me, but I remember the one person's name very distinctly, and I remember what she looked like too. And so when they show up, I know it's my time then.
I love that. See, well, I think you raise a good point, Tony. We really are surrounded by spirits. Melanie Miller just asked a great question. She says, if you're a witch in this lifetime, is that a continuation of a past life as a witch? That's a great question. I love this question because, good question, Melanie. I think there is a connection. I really do. Because many people that I've spoken to in the craft say that when they discover the craft, it's like they've awakened to something they already know. They feel it feels familiar and they feel as if they've come home. And so I do think that, and I wouldn't say in every single case, but I'd say in a lot of cases, yeah. What do you guys think about that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Even when I was younger, I would do things that were different from other people. And, my family would just be like, well, that's just the way she is, you know. And I had no idea that I was already doing, practicing the craft at a young age, So I believe that it is something that was carried over from a past life, and I'm just reinforcing it in this life, you know. And hopefully, when I do return, you know, back to the Summerlands, that I can teach the next person. So
That's beautiful. I love that. Lord Tony, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I believe that too. I believe I was. You actually told me in one of your letters to the spirit world, or I can't remember how you
Messages to the spirit world.
Yeah, you had told me before that I was a 7th century healer and mystic, and so I believe that pretty much that had carried over because you had told me that it was the main thing that was affecting me in this incarnation.
Mm-hmm. No, I think a lot of us carry over that energy. Now, I can tell you as a psychic, I've done readings for people where when they come to the craft, they say that some of them, it opens up the memories of being burned alive or drowned. And they say that they feel on one point elated because they know as a witch they'll be safe in this life. At another level, they feel as if they're terrified, and they're struggle to reconcile how to find that balance. And, I really think that any of us who have been born again as previous witches, we chose a time to where we would have greater safety and also to be able to bring greater transformation to our lives and the lives of others. So if you're a witch and you have memories of that past life horror, try to remember this. You chose this time so you could be safe. And it doesn't mean you won't still get some persecution. We all do on some level, but you don't have to fear. They're not going to burn us alive. Unless the New World Order takes over. So far, they haven't succeeded. I had another question here I saw. I think it was Billy Mayer went by, but it said, where did the image of the ugly green witch on the broom originate? Where did that image come from? Well, Billy, you got two different actual things there. The witch on the broom actually originated from old fertility rites. They used to actually use their brooms to bless crops in the old days for fertility. And they would literally ride around on the broom and hop like it was riding a horse. And so that came the idea of the witches having the broom between their legs and riding. And then some people would say they would see the witches fly off. Well, they didn't actually fly, but that was a rumor that people started. And the broom itself is actually interesting. A lot of people don't realize this. It's a fertility symbol. If you turn a broom up so that the bristles are up, it's a downward pointing triangle. Because where the broom's straws gather, it's narrow. So it's like a triangle, which represents the female organs, the inverted triangle. And then the vertical part, the staff, is the male. So it represents union of male and female. And it's a sign of fertility. So when they would bless the crops in the ancient days with the broom, that's where that symbol originated. Now, as far as the witches being green, that was created by the church because they wanted to discredit witches, so they made them into ugly beings and scary, which is sad. And I actually know some Wiccans, maybe you guys know too, that refuse to put up witch decorations at Halloween because they feel like it's an attack on Wicca. I myself, honestly, I kind of like the green witches. I think it looks kind of dramatic, and I have fun with it. But I can see how it would be offensive to some people. You know. What do you think, Lord?
I have a green witch decoration that I put on my window, and I used her this past Samhain as a guardian for my house. And I don't care how, you know, ugly she is or funny or whatever, she became the guardian. So
yeah, I think that's the crone energy, isn't it? Don't you think?
Yes.
It's like Hecate energy.
Yes, and I used her as a guardian to keep all negative energy away from my house. So blah on the church.
Well, you know, I think it's important that we take these symbols and we claim them for ourselves. I think that's really important. So, yay, that's really great, Carol. I like that. Lord Tony, you got any green witches in your house?
Not that I've seen lately.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, my plants are pretty much all dead now. So all my peppers, they're gone. They've been eaten.
Right.
Plant, it's gotten too cold outside now for anything to grow.
Yeah. All right. Wow. Billy Mayer just asked a good question. He says, what about wizards? What are wizards? Basically, wizard is a term. It means the wise one. Wizards are actually more ceremonial magicians rather than witches. Witches are the, I don't know how, Lady Carol, you probably can explain this better than me.
I think it's more like druid magic compared to, you know, any other magic use. Because traditionally druids are, you know, more traditional magic than a eclectic witch, you know. So I think that's where they come up with the different terms for them.
Yeah, because like wizards are doing more ornate magic, like with ceremonial swords and very complex ingredients and incantations. Wicca is what I call low magic, and it's not to denigrate it, but low magic means it's very simple of the earth. A witch can do a spell with just a piece of wood and a rock, you know? Whereas a ceremonial magician, which would be a wizard, would require like a gold censer and 600, you know, perfectly cut diamonds and, you know, a giant statue of hand-carved ebony, and you know, it goes on and on, very complex. Witches of old were more simple, where magic simple is direct, it connects to the earth, you know. So anyways, yeah, that's a good question too, because people sometimes say to me, aren't you a wizard? And I said, no, I'm a witch. They said, well, witches are female. I said, no, witches are male too, you know. So yeah, I think if you're practicing magic, you know, and you really know what you're doing, I think the terms could be interchangeable, but traditionally it has a distinct meaning. Wizards, I would also say, in the Middle Ages particularly, practice more Judeo-Christian magic. Like they would invoke the archangels and Moses and Jesus, and their rituals were based on Hebraic chants. Whereas the folk people, the witches, were not educated, and they just go talk to the moon goddess. They didn't know anything about casting circles in ancient Hebrew, you know. So it's a little different focus. So,
That's kind of like asking us why, you know, half the witches don't walk around speaking, you know, different languages and stuff. It's like it has no purpose. You know, we don't follow that path. I mean, there are people that do, but you know, some of us are not structured to do that.
Mm-hmm. Ruth Sittner says, can they ask a question? Hi, Ruth. Yeah, go ahead. Just type your question in, and we'll watch for it. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. You know, Carol, I think it comes back to the thing is like, you have to understand the history of the craft. The craft as we practice modern day Wicca descends from folk magic, which was the common people. And so their rituals are much more simple, much more direct, you know. And most people didn't speak, you know, ancient Arabic and Hebrew. And now some of the elite, the upper class, the educated, did have access to books and knowledge. And again, this comes back to also the accessibility to tools. You know, nowadays as witches, and Carol, we were talking about this, we're really spoiled. I mean, how many of us have like 3 athames and 2 wands and a few chalices? The witches of old had very little, if any, tools, because there was also the danger.
Like
What's that?
Knives. Most of their athames were kitchen knives. Their cauldrons were their cooking pots. Their tools were what they used every day. Their everyday items that they used for their magic as well.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have separate items for, ritual and separate items for, home use.
Absolutely. And if the local priest would visit, there was always a danger if they had ritual items, they could be accused of witchcraft. Literally in those days, you'd be arrested. You'd have your home seized and you'd lose everything. You'd be killed. Excuse me. I've heard that many of the witches of old made pentacles out of wax or wood so that if the Inquisition came, they could throw it in the fire and it'd be instantly destroyed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Ruth. Oh, hi, Ruth. Yeah. Ruth has her. She says, I've been told that I have a demon in my house. Well, it's half. Hold on a second. I can't see the question. I've been told it's half spirit demon from what I've been told. How do I get rid of it? Ruth, I have to tell you this in this show. I'm sorry when I said ask a question. I don't do private readings during this show. It's nothing against you. It's that this is more of an educational show focused on Wicca rather than private readings. So, I'd have to sit down and look at that in person. So if you want, you can send me an email and I'll put it in Messages from the Spirit World. Or if you want to book a private reading with me as well, you can go to my website and the link will be below this video. So it's not that I don't want to help you, but if I start doing private readings, everybody will want one. And I don't do it during the show. Okay. I hope you understand, but I'm glad you're here. Listen up. One of the things, and I think this would be helpful, Ruth, is that the craft does have a tradition of protective magic as well. And like one of the things that you could do, Ruth, is burn black candles in your house. Now, contrary to popular belief, black candles are not evil. They're actually protective, black or gray. What do you think, Lady Carol?
Yeah, and you can also put salt in 4 corners of every room and on your windowsills.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get some crystals and put them on your windowsills.
Absolutely.
I would say get some black tourmaline. I have a nice black obsidian globe here. These work wonders at getting rid of negativity and negative spirits. I will do some work on for you later on tonight, though, after a little later after your show too. So.
Yeah, Lord Tony has a great connection to the angels, and he's very powerful. So connect with him as well. We have links below for him also. Okay. So, Salem Show just says, "Oh, they're talking to Mama Bird. Do I get to go to heaven if I'm a witch?"
What kind of witch are you?
Yeah, that's a good question. How do I say this? Now, let me just give you some background. I'm a spiritualist and a Wiccan, and both traditions do teach in an afterlife. The concept of the traditional heaven, I don't believe in. I don't believe we just sit around on a cloud playing a harp all day. I believe that the afterlife is a place of great dynamic energy where we learn, we grow, we process all the lessons of our previous life, and we make choices. So I think the Summerland definition that I gave earlier is really, really more of what it's like than what the traditional Christian view of heaven is. Now, of course, if you're a devout Christian, you will get to go to a paradisical-like realm, which will be, like a heaven. But you're not going to be sitting around just praising God all day. You're going to actually have to account for how you've lived. You're going to have to work on your karma. It's not just a sit on a cloud place. So I don't know how to answer that other than that. Anyway, so was there, hold on, I think I got another question. I gotta find my glasses here. I can't see the chat here. Star White makes a comment, says witchcraft was herbalism, alchemy, and medicine, etc. You're absolutely right, Star White. Witchcraft, the witches of the old were their village healers. They did healing, they did midwifery, they'd birth babies, they took care of animals. So your local witch, it's funny because by day, most of the populace would say, oh, I don't want to be involved with that witch person. But by evening time, when nobody could see them, they'd come under cloak and seek help from the witches. And I tell you, as a modern day practitioner, I still see this. I have people that I know that are very socially prominent that by day, they would denounce me. They'll say, oh, that psychic guy down the road, I don't know him. I'm not going to see him. But after their friends all leave their house, then they rush to my home and ask for help. And it's still the same. Witches today are, in a sense, we're kind of maligned, but we're still the ones who many people turn to. What are your experience, Lord Tony?
Yeah, I get asked a lot of weird questions though. It's like, even at work, I just heard you were a witch. Well, yeah, okay. Is that true? Yeah, it's true. I'm a witch. Yep. Okay. But they'll ask me all sorts of different things too. Is like, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? I said, well, I can do what I can for you, but you have to work on it yourself too. And nothing comes for free, really. So what I put out, someone else has to believe in what's going to happen. And
yeah. Not to mention the fact that a lot of people forget that if we're helping somebody else, we have to get permission. We can't just, push it on them and say, oh, let me help you. We have to get the permission from the person, I had someone a long time ago ask me if I could do a hex on someone. And I was like, I don't do hexes. I don't do curses. I don't do, anything like that. Now, if you want me to help you with an illness, that's different. If you have somebody that's creating a problem for you, I can give you a spell that, possibly will push them away, but not harm them, So I've run into a lot of situations, I've had people ask me about my ancestral background, being from New Orleans, I've had people ask me if I do, voodoo, and I'm like, no. Some things I will look into if it's to help someone, but other than that, no. So if you go down that road, you take on that energy, and people forget that. I mean,
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to make a comment. Dion YZ said that they've had people, because they know they're a witch, they show up in a cloak to hide their identity when they come to see them. I agree. I know people do that. Sorry.
Yeah, I had someone ask me about my my pentacle ring, and I kind of looked at them and got their energy and felt their curiosity, and they were asking me, well, when did you become a witch, and when did you start doing this? And I was telling them a little bit about my history, and then they were asking me, so do you do love spells and all that kind of stuff? And I'm like, no, I don't do love spells. If you really care about the person, be honest with them. That's the best love you can give anybody, But I've had people just walk up to me in the grocery store. I don't even know them. And, you know, they'll start questioning me. So it's been an interesting experience. And for the people that, you know, now see me on here, they're like, we didn't even know. And I'm like, yeah, that's the point.
There you go. Jennifer Croxton just threw out a good question. She said, are books of shadows as good as binder books of shadows? You know, Jennifer, I think whatever way you want to create your book of shadows is fine. There's no rule. I will tell you, I got to give a plug for Lady Angela here. Lady Angela custom makes beautiful, beautiful books of shadows. They're a little pricey, but I'll tell you, they're worth every penny because they're heirloom pieces.
Let me get mine real quick.
Okay. And they are just delights. So, you know, anybody looking to start a book of shadows, you might want to talk to Lady Angela because she could work a deal with you on that. What do you got there, Lady Carol?
This is, well, I don't know if you can see it very clearly. This is my book of shadows that she made me. I got this shortly after joining the Order of the Purple Cord. And she does the cover. It's, you know, like a leather cover. And I added a few frillies down at the bottom of mine. But inside, this is what it looks like. And of course, there's little add-ons in here now. But
Yeah, Lady Carol.
You have like ceremonial magic, you have candle magic, all different things, symbols, and there's blank pages in here as well, so you can write in it. These are what some of the blank pages look like. And they're all different. And the way she does this, she does it in parchment paper, which is very nice. And she made this just for me because she knows I like the tree of life. So she put that in for me. And also this lady in the back for me to represent the crown. So you can have your book made any way you want. She will make it in the style of your choice. Just get in contact with her. This is actually...
Yeah, if you get a book, the link is going to be, a lot of people are asking, how do we get a hold of her? Her link will be below. It'll say buy witchy stuff here, and it'll be rarewiccaspells.com.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lady Carol, I didn't cut you off, but
oh no, that's fine. I was just gonna say that, but you beat me to the punch. But yeah, she can make your book any way you want.
G-Dog said that they put a pic of their face, their book of shadows on Facebook. That's wonderful. Yeah, you should definitely, you know. By the way, speaking of Facebook, I always forget to tell people this. If you're watching today and you don't know what we're doing, we are gathering. This is the Order of the Purple Cord, and we actually have a Facebook group as well that you can join. If you want to join the Order of the Purple Cord, it is free, and we have a few membership requirements. I want you to visit my website, www.psychicbob.com, and you can read all about it. You need to send us a letter requesting to join. In your letter, you need to include your contact information and a statement that you make a vow not to perform black magic as a member of the order. And then you got to make a purple cord. And as you see around my neck here, I'm wearing a beautiful purple cord. This one's made of paracord, but you can make it out of any stuff. We have all about that over at my website at psychicbob.com. But and then once you're admitted, we have a private page which only members can go to, and you can join in conversations, see all the pictures there. I recommend you love Wicca and you're curious about being part of Wicca, you might want to join our order. As I said, there's no cost to join. Okay. And you don't have to be an initiated Wiccan. You just have to be an open mind and be of a like mind and open to Wiccan spirituality. Okay. So yay. All right. Well, it looks like we got a lot of people going on in the chat here tonight. My goodness. Mina Laurie writes, she says, is it okay to do a spell to help yourself get over someone if you're in love, but you don't know it's good for you and you need help to move on? Absolutely, Mina. Yes, you can do that. I call that a cord cutting spell. You might want to do research on that. There are a lot of different ways to do it, but a cord cutting spell breaks the psychic bond, because when you fall in love with somebody in a relationship, etheric cords start to form between the heart chakras. And when you break up, a lot of times people don't break those cords, or sometimes they'll break naturally, but if they don't, if it's a really strong link, you can still have an attachment to somebody. So an etheric cord cutting ritual will break that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I had to go through it a few times.
All right. Well, there you go. So yeah, research cord cutting rituals. That's a whole long ritual. It'd take me too long to explain, but it's totally fine to do that for yourself, because it's active white magic. You're giving healing to yourself and healing to another. You see, so there's nothing evil in that. Anthony Price just makes a comment, says, you can do any workings that you want as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. As above, so below. Remember karma. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Do as thou wilt, and it harm none. Dion YZ says, Minnie, I believe it's a great idea to ask help from spirit guides to assist you in moving on, especially if the person does more harm than good, because it'll help clear your path. Dion, I think you made a really good point there, is that anything we do, we want to work with our angels, our guides, the elemental spirits. And if you're doing magic, you'll cast a circle. And I always like to say we never do magic alone, because our circle allows us to call in help just by the creation of the circle. Really good point. Really good point. Do you guys have any thoughts about cord cutting rituals that you want to share?
I went through an experience some time back where I actually lost someone, and I was grieving for that person so hard that I actually had to break that bond, because even though their spirit had moved on, it was like the bond was still there and I couldn't let go. And a lot of people think, well, they're gone, it doesn't matter, just let it go. It doesn't work like that. When you're attached to someone with your heart, your soul is still connected. So what I had to do was literally similar to that of a binding ritual in reverse, where I would take the cord that represented the color of the person and literally, pray over that cord, cut that cord, symbolizing the cut between my spirit and theirs, and then taking the cord and burying it, symbolizing the total break with that person. It's a little more complicated than that, but right now I don't have the whole ceremony in front of me. But just to make the idea short and break it down, that's basically the way I would do it.
Yeah. I just want to address something. Some people are in the chat saying that they're still waiting to hear from the order on their memberships. Alicia, we've had a lot of backlog. I'm getting literally thousands of letters right now. So it looks like it was a while ago. Can I ask you to please rescind that? We have better systems in place now, and I apologize that your request didn't get answered. It was not intentional, I assure you. It's we're still working out how to manage all of this. I have to be honest, when we started the order, we didn't realize how quickly it would grow. So we are still developing ways to manage the incoming mail. So please don't, any of you who are waiting, we do have a current backlog of a few hundred letters, which Angela and I are working on. And as yours was a few years ago, we had even less structure, Alicia. So please know I was not trying to ignore you or not welcome you to the order. It's simply a logistics thing. And so that's what I'm asking. You feel free to send it again if you'd like to, because we'd love you to be part of the order. We welcome you. We're not trying to exclude anybody, you know. So I hope you understand. Okay. Yeah. Jennifer Croxton just asked a good question and says, can we use graveyard dirt in magical workings? Ooh. Lady Carol, you know a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you actually can. It all depends on what you intend, to use it for. Now, I've heard several people use graveyard dirt as a form of protection because, of course, if you obtain the dirt in a proper way. You don't just go and collect a handful of graveyard dirt. You have to ask, permission to get it. And everything you do, you have to ask, and you have to make an offering. What I do when I collect my graveyard dirt is I carry some crystals, tiny little crystals, and I offer those to the spirits for helping me. And you can do the same thing. Now, I've heard different ways of obtaining it. Some people say if you obtain it at a crossroads, it's better. Some people say it doesn't matter. I think that's really a personal choice because either way, you're still getting permission from spirit, to get their help. But yeah, you can use graveyard dirt. It just depends on how you want to use it.
I gotta interrupt. I want to give a shout out to Star White. Star White just made a donation of $5 to the order. Star White, thank you very much for your kind donation. That's really, truly appreciated. We are collecting the funds, and we're going to use that to enhance the show and the broadcast. So the money is used for the order. It's not for Psyche Bob's personal use. So I have reserved the money in an account for the use of the order. So thank you for that. Yeah. Hey, Lady Carol, somebody just wrote, they said, if you want to be rich, collect a rich person's dirt. That's got me choking. It's so good. I like that.
That's an interesting thought. I've never thought about that,
Yeah. Kathy Private made a good point, which I think you were saying too, is that better be careful with graveyard dirt. You need to know the story of how that person died. So she said she doesn't prefer to use, and that's okay. There's no obligation. Some people are drawn to working with the dead, and some people aren't, and that's okay,
Yeah.
So I think you're right, Kathy. We do have to be careful and mindful, and I think Lady Carol was saying that as well. Lord Tony, you ever go drifting into the graveyards getting graveyard dirt?
I've never gone in there getting graveyard dirt, but yeah, I've gone in the graveyards.
Yeah.
Usually doing like spirit sessions and ghost hunting and things like that, trying to get EVPs and pictures and things like that. But that's pretty much the only thing I've done in the graveyards other than play tag in it when I was little.
Excuse me. Graveyards are really great for getting EVPs, electronic voice phenomena. A lot of people say to me, oh, I don't believe in life after death. I'm a convinced materialist. And I always say, well, just get a tape recorder, voice recorder, phone recorder. Most cell phones have a recorder. I said, walk through a graveyard and put it on record. And I said, now tell me if you get some voices. And most people will get at least some voices doing that because the spirits are, a lot of spirits use that as a portal way because it's where they can all meet up. They all know, well, there'll be other people like me.
You can always get yourself like a PSB7 spirit box and external speaker to go with it. And these are great because they're just scrolling through FM channels, AM channels really fast. You can ask them questions and they can use all the radio noise to give you your answers back. And if you got a recorder on you handy at the same time, good time to record everything so you can play it back.
Yeah,
I love that one too. You've done a lot of work with the spirits with that, haven't you?
I've done a lot with that and a lot with an app called EchoVox by Big Beard Studios. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm just telling you. But those two have worked great for me. And got most of the stuff on my channel is getting orbs and EchoVox sessions and spirits playing with my tablet and things like that.
I think that's
my Radio Shack hack one is finally dying on me, so I need to get a new one.
Yeah, I think I paid way too much money for the one I have, but I think they're probably cheaper now.
Gavin Hines said, I've just discovered an abandoned Victorian cemetery in a nearby city, so got to go visit soon. It's just been forgotten. Quite sad, really. Gav, I tell you, I lived in England, and there's nothing like the British Victorian cemeteries. They're really like something out of a movie. I think you definitely got to go there. See if you can get some voices. I think you will. Starwhite just said EchoVox works. Is that what you were saying, Lord? Is that your name? Is that a different brain?
Yeah, EchoVox works great.
Okay, good. I think it's so fascinating. But at this time of year, we're at a powerful time. We should all, as witches, be seeking to build allies with the spirit realm. Don't be afraid of the dead. The dead, actually, most of them want to help you. I'm sure we'll get our tricksters and our troubled souls. But, remember, like attracts like. So if you're trying to raise the energy and connect with the higher realms, you're going to get a really good spiritual experience out of that. I think so. So, anyway,
the fear that people get is because of all the Hollywood hype. I think that's what creates that deep down fear that make people afraid to even, try and communicate with the dead. And there's really no cause for it.
No, a lot of times the dead actually want to talk to you too, and this makes it a way for them to get it through so you can hear them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so fascinating. In fact, I recently I don't know if I have it here. If I have to find, I'll show it next week. But I just got a new little traveling voice recorder so that I can actually do walking connections with the spirits, So I'm looking forward to working with that. And, Anthony Price loves you, Lord Tony. He said that your stuff's something. He said, Lord Tony, ! So you're impressing them. I think that's great. Somebody just said, Tina Sullen said, Bob's old radio is cool too. In fact, you know what? That's another point. The reason I did that, I have to claim, I can't claim original that I created using the radio. There's actually a famous medium in Italy who uses radios for his mediumship, and he has old radios similar to mine. That's where I got the idea from, but I think it really works. So if you don't have the money for a spirit box, you could use an old radio too. But experiment, because as I said, with mediumship, with spirit communication, everybody has a different tool that they work with. It's like scrying. As some people love crystal balls. Some people prefer bowls of water. Right? Is anyone better than the other? No, but it's what works for you. I think that's important.
I think it has to do with the energy of the person too.
Mm-hmm.
I
think so. Because some people resonate. Like, for example, I get really good scrying when I use water. If I use a clear crystal ball, yeah, I'll get stuff, but it's not as strong as when I use my cauldron. or my scrying bowl. So I think it does depend on the person. I think you're right, Lady Carol, Kathy Prime says she loves Paranormal Friday. Yeah, we're going to get back to that. This last week, I didn't get to do Paranormal Friday because I've been taking it easy as I'm healing. Stargazer just said, where do you get a spirit trumpet? Stargazer, that's a really good question. In fact, you guys keep talking. I'm going to go get my spirit trumpet because I want to talk about that. Hold on just a sec. Lord Tony, take over.
Yeah, there's actually there's a lot of apps on the Google Play Store you can use for if you want to do anything like spirit talking or spirit hunting. There's a ton of apps on there that you can download for free. I've gotten probably 7 or 8 of them, and they've all done at least something. But EchoVox seems to work the best. This PSB7 Spirit Box, I think I paid $60 for it, but I'm pretty sure you can find them used now for $20. And there's tons of videos out there now on YouTube that show you how to take a regular radio from Radio Shack or this particular brand and open it up and remove this circuit or jump this circuit. So you can make your own that way too.
I want to show this. This is something I uncovered as I've been decluttering. This is actually a spiritualist spirit trumpet. It's made of tin or aluminum, and you see it's a megaphone. Now, I use this when I do seances, and I put it on the table. Sometimes it'll vibrate. You'll get a little voice come out of it. The really great psychics are able to make them levitate and fly around the room, and voices come out of them. And there are mediums who do that. I have not been successful in levitating a trumpet, but I have got voice phenomena from it. Now, these are actually hard to get nowadays. This one I had made for me up in New York. There's a place called Camp Lilydale. It's a spiritualist camp. And they have people up there who make them. These are collapsible. So like if you have to go out to do a seance, each part collapses down. And so it shrinks down to this size and you can carry it in your bag. And then when you get to your place, it's like a telescopic sort of thing. And you can open it. But this is a traditional tool. I don't know any stores that sell them. They're very hard to get. And there was literally at the time one guy who used to make them up in upstate New York. I don't know if you guys know of anybody who makes these currently. I've had a hard time finding because I'd like to buy a few more of them. But it's hard to find. But the original guy that made this, I don't know if he's still doing them. I haven't been able to.
I would imagine you'd have to know somebody that does metal work.
Yeah. Hey, Tony. This could be a really big business for you because people are trying to get these.
For who?
For spirit. A lot of people in the spiritualist community can't find sources for these spirit trumpets. And I was saying this is something you might want to explore learning to make and do for people. It'd be a great.
I could probably do that.
It's let me just show you real quick here, Lord Penny. I'll just take out one part of it so you can see it up close. It's got rivets. Do you see how it's riveted?
Oh yeah.
Seam. It's lightweight metal. It's riveted. It's the ends are smoothed out, kind of like folded.
Okay.
And that's how they're made. So they're not probably too complex, but you have to know how to work with the metal and do it, what type of metal. But spirit trumpets are generally made of really light metal. I don't know if this one's aluminum or tin. Somebody told me it was tin, but it might be aluminum. I'm not sure.
It looks more like aluminum.
Yeah. Sounds like aluminum.
So yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's a spirit trumpet. Now, Tony, just so you know, in the old days, they weren't all of them sectioned. Like you don't have to make it in section. You can make it as one solid piece as well.
Right.
So you could have 2 types. But if Lord Tony would start making spirit trumpets, I bet there'd be a market for it. What do you think, Lady Carol?
Oh, yeah.
I know I'd be able to start buying.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
All right. So there you go. But good question about spirit trumpets. Especially now we're at the month where the veil is thin. I think that's excellent. I really do.
Not to mention Yule's around the corner. They'd make fun gifts.
You know what? I think so. Mila said it looks like it's aluminum sheet metal. Okay, maybe it is. So, yeah, spirit trumpets. There you go. Well, I tell you guys, I just look at the time and I don't know where our hour is going. It's getting crazy how fast.
Daylight savings. We're all thrown off the calendar.
That's right. I was worried nobody would be here tonight because I thought nobody remembered their clocks, you know.
Well, I posted it in the OPC to remind people.
Oh, thank you. I haven't been over there yet today. I've been tied up today. So
Lord Tony's snickering because he's got titanium.
Lord Tony, did you affect the time change?
I knew it. I knew
I
it.
kept it right by the computer all this time.
I knew it. You know what's funny is this has been my problem all day is because all of the clocks in my house are connected to computers, like my phone or my computer. So I don't have a traditional wind-up clock right now working. So all of my clocks went back automatically because their settings make it do it. So I didn't know if I was supposed to adjust it or what. So I was calling people all day go, what time is it? Is my clock right? You know? Anyways, I'm still back in 1983.
Oh, this morning doing all my clocks. I have both electronic and manuals.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you, I need to get a manual clock just to back up if the power goes down.
Uh-huh.
You know, I do. Guys, I've had such a good time now. I'm so glad you guys are here. We had a really great turnout tonight, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Well, you know, guys, listen, I got to remind you, as I do every week, all of us here want to be of service to you. Now, I can be of service to you as a full-time professional psychic medium. And if you buy private reading with me, I do charge because that's my full-time work. We're going to do an hour session. My private readings are hour long. You and me, one-on-one for a full hour. We cover everything, past, present, future, spirit guides, you know, deceased loved ones messages. We cover your karmic links, your mission, all of that, and I answer all your questions. So if you guys have been waiting for messages from the spirit world and you feel like you need a little more help, you might want to invest in a private reading. So if you want to contact me, my link will be below. Call me at my office number, 703-825-3929. Or write to me at my email, readings@robert-hickman.com. That will be in the box below this video. Please, I ask, if you write me, please put your phone number in. You'll get on the schedule quicker because when we can't reach people, sometimes we try to do email back and there are problems. And you send me your phone number, I pick up the phone, call you instantly, and we'll schedule you. So please put your number in. But I'd love to get to sit down with those of you who feel you're called to a reading. And, you know, we each have talents here. Contact Lady Angela also at rarewiccaspells.com. She can help you get your book of shadows. She's got ritual tools, books on magic and spells, wonderful jewelry. In fact, tonight I'm wearing a piece of jewelry that I bought from her. It's a Thor's hammer. And you can buy these over her website. So, you know, check her out as well. I wish you were here with us, but she'll be back there next week. And of course, we got our Lord Tony. Lord Tony, why don't you tell them about your spiritual work?
What I do is angelic energy healing, and I have the angels. I call on them. They come and work through me to send you the healing directly to you. We can do just about anything. I have no idea what the limit would be yet. Mostly it's just, you know, energy blockages, or I have headaches, or suffering depression and anxiety. But yeah, if you just want to contact me through my website, I'll get a hold of you with a time, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, we have Lord Tony's link below. Listen, contact him because he's done miracles on me. I almost died this last summer. I got so seriously poisoned by a tick, I was hemorrhaging blood. And Lord Tony's power in the middle of the night came on me. And I woke up and I literally got a text from him. He said, "Oh, I'm sending healing power now." I was like, "Oh my God, I can feel this." Amazing. You got to work with Lord Tony. And we got Lady Carol down here who's working on developing her website. And what are you going to be selling when you have your website going on?
I'm going to be selling custom wands and maybe a few other different creations. It just depends on what Spirit tells me to do, because I have to be a good girl when they come around and listen, create what they say. But Yeah, I'm still, you know, in the process of trying to figure out how to get my website going. I have a site, it's just putting it together and getting it out there.
Well, I'm excited. Let me tell you, Lady Carol's stuff is beautiful. I can't wait till she has it up and running because I'm gonna be there shopping every day. I love to shop online. Y'all like that? I'm really into that, you know, because I don't have the. And you know, it's funny. I guess maybe I'm getting older, but I just don't have the energy to go to the mall and deal with all that craziness of trying to get a parking spot and deal with all that madness and all the crowds. I like to just click a button and relax with my cup of tea. And that's what Shop Me God Live does.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, guys, we are so glad you're here. Listen, help us out. Make sure to go back and like this video once it's processed, favorite it, share it with your friends, hit subscribe, be part of my channel. We'd love you to be here at Spirit Channel. You know, we have a lot of fun here. And, you know, every Sunday we gather. I call it the gathering of the tribes that order the purple cord. Gathers. Now, you don't have to be a member of the Order of the Purple Cord to come to Sunday, but it's where traditionally we do all get together and talk about the craft and share our experiences and our ideas. And, you know, I want to say thank you to all of you for coming out tonight. Listen, excuse me, keep it here tomorrow. Tomorrow, you know what tomorrow is, Lady Carol?
Horoscopes.
You got it. Horoscopes. So make sure to be back here at Spirit Channel. We're going to have horoscopes. I'm going to cover all 12 zodiac signs. So everybody watching will get a horoscope. We're going to look at all the transits, what's going on in the stars, all that. Be here tomorrow for that. You guys are the best. Well, guys, you want to say good night real quick?
Good night, real quick. We've had a blast tonight, guys. Bob, you just got another donation into for the Order of the Purple Cord.
Oh my gosh, look at that. £1.99 from Gab. Thank you, Gab. That's very nice of you. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, Lady Carol.
Well, I would like to say good night, and I hope everybody has a blessed day, blessed evening, and learn something from us today. Make sure you come back next Sunday because we never know what we're going to have. So I'll be here, and I'm waiting for you.
And we all have a lot of fun, don't we? Well, guys, yes, I agree with Lord Tony. Well, guys, listen, we'll see you back here next week. And until then, may you always blessed be.
Night, everyone.